Ready?
Yep.
2, ready, go.
We'll put in some eye drops. Oh, you said it's just audio, so.
You're good. That was stronger than I thought.
Coughing like a newbie.
Bigger hit than I was expecting.
It happens to the best of us.
Agreed. Agreed.
Not so much with this, though.
I bet not.
Welcome back to Dope Discussions with Dick and Dank. Dick and I here in the Kentucky Oasis again. What is this episode? What did I say? 45. Episode 45. We're getting up there.
We're kicking along. It's almost like we're professional.
Almost. Almost.
Not really, but almost.
You know what the difference is to be professional?
You have to be paid.
Yeah.
We're paid.
We are paid.
Ernie.
By
Music by Ernie.
Music by Ernie. One person is paying us. Thank you, Music by Ernie. Without you, I don't know what we'd be doing.
Fake it till you make it. We're
True story.
almost there.
True story. But we do have a guest today who is on Zoom with us at Jana Champagne 9. So there must be 8 of you ahead of you. I don't know. She's the Rogue Herbalist, professor of integrative medicine, and a cannabinoid science author.
Did we get it?
I think
Yeah.
so. There we go. Yeah, well, that's good.
Is there anything you want to add that we missed that's important?
I could. How much time do we have?
As much as you want.
All right.
I do a lot in this industry, and I always just kind of use the disclaimer that it's all happened very organically. I certainly didn't plan it this way, and it has all resulted from simply following unmet cannabis patients' needs.
Okay.
So this just really reflects how profound our patients' needs still are, despite 30 years of advocacy and legislation to protect their rights. We still have a lot of work to do. So currently, and I'll kind of start at the beginning, I am a cannabis patient who happened to be a nurse. Discovered cannabis as medicine and not just a recreational tool like I had discovered in my early 20s.
Yep.
When I was seeking an alternative for opioid pain medications for my chronic illness condition. And to my surprise, cannabis did so much more than just alleviate my pain. It went on to give me some really profound benefits. And I actually credit cannabis in large part for progressing from being labeled totally and permanently disabled in 2013 to being fully functional and working full-time plus today.
And you credit that 100% to cannabis?
Not 100%,
Okay.
but in large part.
In large part, okay.
Yeah, cannabis gave me hope.
Yeah.
Cannabis pulled me out of victim mentality, which was keeping me stuck in illness and allowing it to win, basically.
Absolutely. And people that have listened to our episodes, I don't know if you have, but, I take it because I was in a car accident, traumatic brain injury, depression, anxiety, trying to return to work. And now I feel I'm functioning as good, if not better, than previously. Now, I don't know how well. You didn't even know me before.
I didn't know you before. So
you can't even, but my neighbor can testify. But I feel, I finally feel good about myself, about what I'm doing, and just, to keep going on. And I can thank that 100% to cannabis.
I will say that, and I haven't told you this, but I do notice a difference.
Yeah.
There was times when we first became friends and we first started this. That
Oh, man.
I was really worried for you.
Yeah.
And
That's when we were sending Marco Polos every day.
Yeah. And I've not had that worry for a year and a half, maybe.
Yeah.
Year.
And that was literally when I probably first started taking it consistently.
Yeah. I guess I never really put 2 and 2 together until you just said just now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. A huge difference. Since the accident, I've always had to consider, I've always tried to think and try and compare what I was like before. And then it's to a point, I couldn't even remember what that felt like, and I gave up trying. And now cannabis, I can say, I know for a fact I'm better than I was before.
Yeah.
And this is so fantastic that we found you. Thank you, Dick, for finding our lovely guest.
You found me.
You're right.
All right.
I don't know how I found you either.
Exactly. So at Jana Champagne 9.
That's on X.
That's
my
on X.
tag.
Okay.
Right.
So,
But I'm just saying, like, I stumbled across you. This is what I'm saying. Like I didn't go looking for.
He spends more time on X. I spend more time on Instagram. But at Jam the Champagne 9. Now that's just on X. Are you on other social medias, or is that
Yes,
just?
I'm on Instagram. I'm at the Rogue Herbalist.
Okay, so that's the Rogue Herbalist. That's your Instagram handle. Okay, so I'm pretty sure we probably follow each other. We on the last episode we were one follower away from 7,000 followers. So by now we're recording right after, but by now I'm sure we're at 7,000 followers. So that's good, and that's on Instagram where I'm Mr. Dank 5. So I'll double check, but I'm 99% sure that I follow the Rogue Herbalist. Now, granted, I can't remember all 7,000 followers, but I do know I've seen that in there, and he showed me that logo. I was like, oh yeah, I recognize that. So
Yeah.
but there's just so much stuff with 7,000 people. There's just different stuff all the time in the feed, and
Right.
Oh
yeah,
I can't keep up.
exactly.
I have less than that, and I can't keep up. So
Right. So, and that's too much. But I just enjoy for a little bit, see what I can, and yeah, I do what I can. But anyway, so now you prefer X, and he likes X, but he runs into these internet trolls, if you will. They're so negative.
Ever since they started the Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 talk, all these douchebags have been showing up on my timeline, and I am a glutton for punishment because I can't keep my mouth shut. They'll be like, "Oh, cannabis isn't medicine. You just want to get high," and then I show them my
your X-ray.
Yeah, I took a picture of it's on my MRI technically of my neck, and I'm like, dudes, I am a real estate agent full time. I farm full time. I have a snow removal company full time. I'm not a lazy bastard. Like clearly, and if I didn't have cannabis, I would be hooked on opiates. The state would be paying for me. I would have lost my wife and kids by now. You look back at who's the gentleman that we talked to that is missing that had his leg removed, amputated, and has phantom nerve pain.
Yeah, that's trauma translator.
Yeah. I'd be just like him. Like he was when he almost lost his whole family and had to move to Colorado to start smoking cannabis so he could get his life back. So anyway, that's
refugees, I call them.
What's that?
Cannabis refugees, I call them.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you listen to episode 37. Dick's too busy because literally we just want to grow this podcast so we can share the good word about weed. But he's too busy doing everything else.
Right.
That I can't even get him to take enough time to come over here. But he is here today.
Right.
But we're just trying to, we want to eliminate the stigma about cannabis, promote all the positive things. We've had our doctor on. We've had growers. We've had people from that work at the dispensaries, all talking about the positive things. And then people like the trauma translator and myself and Obi-Wan, and just they use it for everyday living just to get by. And then why would anybody have to look down upon that?
Right.
And then we've referenced and we joked in previous episodes that I feel it was in the Garden of Eden. And then Dunk did some research for us, and it has been here since the dawn of time. Cannabis has always been here. 2,500 years before Christ, they found it in some cannabis resin in bowls and stuff that they were smoking. It's like, man, that's amazing. And I don't understand as a society that some point in time that we use it every day to get by and live off and rope and everything else you can use it for. And then we just say, nope, it's illegal. Let's hide it away and never use it.
Right.
Why? Because it's that great, the power to hold it and keep it from people? That's just not right.
Because it competes with so many other big industries that want to capitalize and monetize their profits, and you can't do that with the cannabis plant.
It's all about money, and it's for everybody. It's for our own health.
Right.
Yep.
The
Absolutely.
Rogue Herbalist.
So
The Rogue Herbalist. So
Right?
yeah, I'm also cannabis went on to do so many things for me beyond just pain management. It got me sleeping. My brain was also impacted. I dropped out of my master's program 5 credits shy of my nurse practitioner degree in 2013.
jeez.
I couldn't write a paper anymore. I couldn't hold a conversation. It went on to reverse my autoimmune markers for lupus,
Oh, geez.
which blew me away as a nurse. I was like, wow, that's what got me researching. And I deep dove into thousands of studies at that time to find that it was actually an expected outcome of intensive use of THC to have autoimmune be managed and have your T cells be suppressed so you weren't still like attacking your own body. That's
Isn't
what
that
autoimmune
something?
did. And it blew me away. So then it's like,
amazing.
so this thing called the endocannabinoid system 8 straight years of nursing school, I never heard that term once.
Isn't that crazy?
Not once. So this really ignited my passion. I studied. I like to deep dive and understand things logically.
You're going to be my new favorite person.
My daughter with autism actually suffered a puberty crisis, and her story ended up, her success story published in a magazine a few years later.
Wow.
Managed her severe behaviors, which were almost overnight self-injury, aggression. She was beating everybody up. She was destroying my house, holes in walls, holes through doors.
Uh-huh.
Cannabis alone spared her out-of-home placement.
Oh,
That's
So lots of passion here, as
Right?
you're hearing. From there, I went on to start cultivating, growing our own, caregiving for patients. That was part of my recovery too, the physical therapy aspects of that.
Uh-huh.
And just being in communion with the plant is powerful for patients. Highly
Yeah.
recommend it. And then I started, as I was better, I started consulting formally with patients as a nurse, one-on-one consulting, thousands of patients. I've worked with cancer, autoimmune, pediatrics, epilepsy, mental health, chronic pain, of course, is a specialty. And then from there shifted to teaching medical professionals because I would work with their patients and get them, successful on cannabis therapy, which naturally leads to them reducing reliance on pharmaceuticals and weaning. And that gets the attention of their doctor. Because I don't say reduce your pharma. I say go back to your doctor. He needs to guide you through this.
right.
And the doctor, if they're ethical and curious and brave, they call me and say, explain this to me. How does this happen? How are my patients reducing their reliance on blood pressure medications, diabetes medications, opioid pain medications, mental health medications, you name it, immune suppressants for autoimmune. I weaned off of prednisone and Plaquenil and spared methotrexate, which has a side effect of cancer,
Jeez.
using cannabis.
Wow.
So we're talking harm reduction kind of across
Right.
the board with chronic illness. And that spawned me writing a lot about it. I've published in the American Journal of Endocannabinoid Medicine on several topics, citing cannabis for harm reduction when compared to the pharmaceutical or mainstream approach, objectively, fully cited in a medical journal.
Uh-huh.
I also am serving as a professor of cannabinoid science for an integrative medicine program at John Patrick University since 2020.
Where is
That's
that?
fantastic.
Legislative advocate. So yeah, I do a lot. All
That's
of
fantastic.
it. All in patient hands. There's the summary.
That was information overload right there. That was a lot.
It is. And go to I have a Media Kit website that lists it all out with links. Is jannachampagne.com, JANNA, champagne like to drink, easy to find. So.
Yep. I went there and I looked at that. That was cool.
How about that?
Yeah.
You went so fast. I had so many questions along the way, and then I'm like, damn, I forgot them.
That's why you got to write notes. I do.
I can't write that fast and pay attention. That's too much.
Especially when you're consuming while interviewing.
Well, that's me normally. So this helps me stay focused. Actually, that's what I say. It keeps my mind from going everywhere else. It helps me stay in the moment, stay focused. It helps me every day. I can attribute it to so much it's done for my life, and I do get to work from home. So thankfully, I get to use my medicine and work from home. But you know what? Had it be more publicly okay, it wouldn't be a big deal. I could go to office and nobody have to say shit,
Right,
I
right.
could use a vape if I had to or whatever, but they're going to look at me funny when I'm vaping all day, Mo.
Yeah, my truck smells like a family of skunks.
It does.
Had an orgy in it.
It does smell. It smells like flowers.
I'm okay
Dead
with it.
giveaway.
Right.
And he don't care because that's his medicine,
Yep.
and whatever. So I love him for it. I appreciate it. Before I go too much further, one of the questions was your friend's name?
Which friend? This one here?
This one there, yeah.
Yeah, this is Mandy. She's a rescue kitten that we got a couple months ago, and she likes to be near me. So she has to
Hi, Mandy.
She feels safe. You rescued her.
Yeah, she was found at a parking lot in a nearby town
Oh, I got you.
Sorry, Mandy.
in
Nice.
November with freezing temperatures, and she was 4 to 6 weeks old.
Oh, jeez.
So I'm kind of her mama.
I
That's
got you.
nice of you. Nice little cat there.
So-
Yeah.
So
She's
one,
a teenager now, so this is a little less common, but
I got you. So I listened to the podcast that you sent me to get a little background.
Yes.
And we are probably a little bit more relaxed and we like to smoke weed while we're talking and shoot the shit. And, so just so you know.
Yeah, we do. I'm
you
down for
can
anything.
Say whatever you want. We can
Yeah, we
go
don't
as
care.
long as you want. You can smoke. We don't care. Whatever.
Yeah.
We're all good.
Get comfy.
But
I am comfortable. It's okay.
One thing that I wanted to talk about today was cannabis and PTSD. So I was a paramedic for 20 years, and in 20 okay, well, so back up. So I was paramedic for 20 years, and I have since I found cannabis, I have talked to 5 other former professional firemen that I used to work with that are all now medically retired from PTSD. And they all, well, my one friend, he uses a lot more than cannabis. He uses mushrooms and ibogaine and DMT, maybe DMT. Maybe I'm speaking out of term with that. But anyway, all the stuff goes to Tijuana, wants to go to Tijuana and do all that stuff. So, but anyway, they all tell me how much cannabis helps them. In 2018, 2019, when I was smoking cannabis, I would tell my wife that every time I smoked a joint, I felt like it was rewiring my brain. I don't know why. I don't know any of the stuff that obviously you do, but that's my experience. I was pretty fucked up from that profession for a while. In 2014, my son told me, my son has ADHD and was frustrated and said, well, maybe if I was dead, maybe this wouldn't be an issue or something to that effect. And of course, as a parent, the first thing you do is, oh shit, you know?
Right.
And got him into a psychiatrist right away. And it was very clear that he didn't understand what he was saying.
Right. The gravity of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it ruined me as a paramedic.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like I went from...
You've seen it.
Well, yeah. Well, so in 2001, I went to a call where a 8-year-old jumped off his bunk bed and hung himself. And I didn't think of that call from 2018 to 2001 to 2014. And then it all came rushing back. And, you know, I had all the PTSD.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like I would have panic attacks going on 911 calls. Like we're driving lights and sirens and I'm like, I can't make it through this call. I'm going to freak out. You know what I mean? Like, but anyway, cannabis has taken away all of that issues. So I was just wondering if maybe you could tell us a little bit about what you know about cannabis and PTSD and kind of go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I consider myself one that also suffers a form of complex PTSD, both medically, you know, getting sick really altered my entire life. At the time when my immune system collapsed, very complex, won't get into too much of it, but I was working full-time as a critical care nurse in the hospital, in the cardiac ward, in the cardiac cath lab. I full-time graduate student working towards becoming a nurse practitioner, plus homeschooling my daughter with autism. So lots of stress. I was ignoring my body's red flags, popping Advil with breakfast, lunch, and dinner to function. And you know, when that happened, my entire life ended. I lost so much, and I went through a period of many years of loss and things being stripped away, my financial security, my career plans, my academic plans, all of it. You know, I was non-functional for a while, and that in itself is traumatic when you're a person that's very driven and motivated to accomplish. And then of course my daughter's shift and what she went through and enduring. You know, it's so difficult as an autism parent to see your child suffering to the extent that they're harming themselves and others and not be able to do anything about it. Like, it's so helpless. Went through some other stuff with my family, and you know, and so it's they say that just the autism parent part equates sometimes to the trauma that's experienced by combat soldiers.
Oh, I'll bet.
So, you know, like I said, PTSD, it's definitely, you know, a part of our experience here.
Special needs parents are
amazing.
Oh my God. I dealt with a lot of special needs parents when I was a paramedic. You know, of course we would go take care of them. And we used to take care of this little girl that had one ventricle. And I just remember, this was before I had kids, and I could not understand. I couldn't fathom, like, it looked like every time we would go to her house again, like she would lose more hair from stress, you know? So anyway, sorry, I went off. Didn't mean to do it. It just, hats off. Like I the little bit I can appreciate, I can only imagine.
Right.
Yeah. It's not for the faint of heart, for sure. And we find our coping mechanisms, and I counsel parents through this as well, because they'll call me about their kids with autism for cannabis. So you know, the experience is something I'm able to utilize to help others, which I think is very therapeutic, giving it purpose. It didn't happen for nothing. It happened for a reason, and I'm putting that reason to good use.
Yep.
So I really encourage parents to try to find their own reasons and their, what can I do with this information I have? How can I help others once they get to that point that they're healed enough to do so? But stress management is so vital. I mean, there's times my kid is up in the middle of the night and we go from perfect silence to screaming and hitting and kicking and clapping and stomping the wall, just that adrenaline rush.
Mm-hmm.
And what I do is I get through it, stay as calm as I can, because one of the tips with autism is not to react. It's almost a way to positively reinforce their
That's what they
behaviors.
want. They want your reaction.
Cause and effect toy, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So staying calm, and then once things are managed again, which in our household, 5-10 minutes max, which is down from at the height of her crisis, she would be full tilt for many hours and pass out exhausted. So it's improved dramatically.
Wow.
Once she's calm, I slip away for 10 minutes and meditate and reset, and then we're good to go.
So when
So that's how I try to keep the zen here.
Yeah.
when I hope I'm not being too personal, but when that happens, like, how do you get her to take cannabis?
She willingly takes it.
Like,
She-
now
she
she's
She sees
well
the help.
enough
She sees
that-
what it does.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, she'll ask for it.
Was
Yeah.
she
And we
nonverbal? Did I read that?
Very limited verbal,
Okay.
but brilliantly intelligent. She
Oh,
passed
sure.
Proctor testing to get her high school diploma in 2021 as a fifth-year senior,
Jeez.
after being labeled mentally retarded, unable to learn in second grade. So that's the power of homeschooling and finding a teacher that believes in your kid's intelligence and figures out not so much how to teach, because she's an autodidact. She just absorbs information somehow that we
Uh-huh.
don't fully understand. Because she passed like curricula that we never taught, algebra and trigonometry.
Wow.
I don't know how she passed that content.
There's so
So,
there,
yeah.
I don't want to pretend like I'm any expert in autism or anything like that, but there's a local family and their son went to school with mine his whole life, their whole lives, and there's some sort of genius gene with autistic people.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. The high functioning, it's just they're missing the social
Yeah, I mean,
skill
like,
set or brain set or whatever. But
I try to talk to Tyler, like I try to be cool with him, and his mom is a psychiatrist, so or whatever. So she's been very, very, very proactive with getting him involved and stuff. So I tried to do my part and interact with him, and like 3 seconds in, I'm like, okay, I'm stupid. I can't talk to you anymore, Tyler. Sorry. You know, what I mean? Like, you're way up.
you're too smart for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can get into it. The last few years especially have been very interesting. I don't know if you guys have heard of the Telepathy Tapes podcast.
I have heard of that. I have not listened, but I need to, because anyway.
Definitely. I'm actually, it's funny because about a year and a half ago, I started back to grad school to become a naturopath, and also get my master's degree finally.
Mhm.
I got free tuition through the school I've taught with for 5 years.
Uh-huh.
So why not, right? And
Right.
then I can take graduate level courses. I only have my bachelor's degree at this point. Even though I've completed 56 graduate credits, I only have my bachelor's.
Jeez.
That's almost enough for 2 master's degrees.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, it's very important. And I really credit cannabis as part of the reason why Ginny finished school and completed her high school diploma, because we needed to get her through the trauma that she had experienced in the school district classroom, the mainstream classroom where we had put her. It was awful for her for 3 years. So it was hard to get her to sit down and work and push through it. So once again, it was her PTSD from academics and that experience of, being treated as though she was incompetent when she's brilliant.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
my IQ is 144 and she's way smarter than I am.
Holy cow.
And telepathy tapes kind of explains, we'll get back to that there is solid research supporting that some kids with nonverbal autism have extraordinary abilities, including telepathy.
Wow.
And they've proven it in these really stringent studies completed by Dr. Diane Powell, who's like Harvard, Johns Hopkins University professor level
Wow.
neuropsychiatrist and MD. So very strict parameters, very valid science, and we're just, in the last few years, I've always recognized my daughter's intelligence and that she knows things. At 4 years old, I walked in my office one day and she turned on my computer and she was Googling water slides and roller coasters, for example. And
Holy
it's like,
cow.
I never showed her how to do that. What? But then she
Right.
goes to school and she won't perform for them. And as it turns out, oftentimes these kids with autism are so busy coping with the sensory onslaught of a classroom, the other
Sure.
kids being unpredictable, the lights, the sounds,
Yeah.
all the stuff, that they're not available for learning. So then they get shuffled off into these classrooms where they presume incompetence and they have zero academic curricula, but
Uh-huh.
these kids still know. And there's a little boy I worked with starting in 2023, 8 years old, nonverbal autism, in Georgia where they don't have legal cannabis, right?
Uh-huh.
And they figured out that he was very smart because he can use spelling to spell out words and sentences and communicate. And this little boy asked for cannabis.
Holy cow.
Really?
Blew his parents away. They aren't
Jeez.
users. They're highly conservative, right wing. They've told this story very openly.
And
So I'm
how
not
old was he?
8 years old.
Holy moly.
Considered incompetent, but then he learned how to spell. It gets better.
Okay.
So they connected with me. We got him on some cannabis. He did really well. Spared him benzodiazepines for his anxiety.
Thank God.
And they kept exploring with him and at one point asked him, "Do you know the cure for your autism?" And he said, "Yes, I do. It's this thing called SOS." And so they had asked a bunch of people. They asked me. I couldn't figure it out. It's not one of those things you can Google,
Okay.
But I forwarded it to an autism father and integrative physician, who brilliant biochemical mind in Michigan that I collaborate with, and he figured it out. But
What-
he figured it out with Jacob's help, with this little boy's help.
So what is it?
It's sodium thiosulfate, and there's a pathway. The way it happened, and they tell this in this elongated interview that I can send to you after the fact to link if you want. But
Uh-huh.
basically, Dr. Bogner said, "I need to talk to this family. I think I know." And he got on a Zoom call and was pulling up slides of chemical pathways in the body. And Jacob was there and not paying attention. And all of a sudden he said, I pulled up one slide and he was riveted to the screen and said, "This is it. This is what I was telling you about. This is the pathway, only it's missing a piece right here.
Uh-huh.
And it's this, and this is what it does." It turns out that it's a detox pathway for cyanide toxicity, which
Really?
Jacob had
Uh-huh.
cyanide toxicity as part of what was impairing him.
Wow.
So he was spot on. And Dr. Wagner had to go back and research it and found that he was right. Like, this little boy taught a brilliant physician a viable pathway and target for treating autism.
So
Shit.
When asked, Jacob says his IQ is 586 or something like that. And when asked how he knows this information, he says he talks with God. And he's not the only child with autism that seems to have some access to what I'm not religious, so I would call it our collective knowledge or our Akashic
Right.
record.
Yep.
Nikola Tesla spoke of having some sort of connection that was feeding him information, so it's not unheard of.
The only
But yeah,
thing
just
the only thing
Right?
mind blowing.
the only thing that I know about that type of stuff involves UFOs and aliens, so I don't want to cross
yeah.
I don't want to cross into
Well, no,
but you know what I
it
mean?
could
Like,
be linked. It could be. Who knows?
right,
But-
right.
But the last year and a half or so, I've been kind of stepping away from the cannabis industry and focused more on bringing cannabis into herbalism. Herbalists are very intimidated by it, or bringing cannabis into nutrition where it totally belongs because it
Right.
provides vital nutrients for human life.
Right.
Right.
Homeostasis is life. That's
We're
a quote
feeding
from
the
Earth.
endocannabinoid system.
Exactly. So I've been not focused on this stuff, and all of a sudden with the rescheduling and the hemp ban, I got kind of pulled back in. So here I am.
I got
Awesome.
Working with Diane Powell, and I'm on her institute, or Hennessy Institute, as an executive board member. So
Oh,
my
okay.
focus now is more on the autism research.
Okay. All right.
It's amazing.
So
Yeah, it's been a journey, very organic, just like, okay. I'll
And
do
so
this.
you said he was nonverbal, and now he is basically high functioning and doing what now? This boy, he
Not
was
fully recovered. He's still nonverbal, still using a spelling board. to
okay, still
communicate.
nonverbal. Okay, but he's using cannabis.
He's using cannabis, and they're working with him to find other targets. With autism, I don't think with rare exceptions, there is not one thing that is going to make or break their recovery. I think they're like layers of onions, and you peel one away and you usually find another layer to work on. So it's sort of a process. And some kids have recovered, but it usually involves lengthy, years long, very targeted recovery.
Well,
Treatment.
if he's writing, is he using a computer? He's able to type?
I believe they're working on it.
Okay, because then I think once he can figure out the internet, man, I think
Right.
he can do his own research and his own studies
Yeah,
at his speed, and in his language, however he needs to convert it. Man, you find, there's an app for that.
Oh yeah, for sure. And my daughter was nonverbal until age 10, and I had luckily seen a couple of stories highlighted of nonverbal children that were in distress. Trying to remember their names. But one of them is a girl from Canada and nonverbal, 13 years old, and one day she wasn't feeling well, and for the first time went to a computer and typed help, and then ran to the bathroom and vomited, and they're like, oh my gosh, she can communicate. So they started teaching her how to type. And so I had these examples, and then the Soma Institute in Texas, which does rapid prompting method, which is kind of what turned into the spelling method. I watched this movie called Talking Back to Autism, which highlighted this mother's journey of bringing her son to the Soma Institute and getting him trained this way. And it talked about other stories, and one that really struck me was this teenage boy, nonverbal, who as soon as he could start spelling letters, he expressed a love of trading stocks on Wall Street. And
Wow.
it turns out he's a complete whiz. So he's
Wow.
still nonverbal, works from home, plays the stock market, and does very well. So just the power of building that bridge with a nonverbal or limited verbal child so that they can start telling you who they are. I mean, parents like myself, I still don't feel like I fully know my child. I mean, I know her needs and her preferences, and she can tell me when she needs her vape pen
Right.
or drops. She'll tell me if she's in pain. But like, what are your dreams? What are your aspirations? What is your purpose for being here?
Right.
What is your experience? Those are the types of things that are nuanced and really require a lot of work to build that bridge.
Are you
And
sure you're ready for that?
Oh, for sure.
I mean, maybe she's going to say
she's
something.
waiting for me to be ready. I don't know.
Yeah, like,
Maybe.
what is your purpose is going to blow your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And she's waiting for you to be able to handle it.
Right.
Yeah, that's where telepathy tapes comes in. And I just saw another interview the other night from a pastor that has this special needs advocacy that he does, and some of the experiences with the people he's working with, and kind of their interpretation of it. It's really, we have so much to still learn, and they're here to teach us. That's for sure.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's where you're a cannabinoid science author. So this is the book you've written that kind of talks through this process and what you've been working on, or?
I haven't written the book yet.
Okay. So you're
right
about to be
now,
sorry.
so.
Maybe I shouldn't have pulled that out.
Someday. No, I've published in the American Journal of Endocannabinoid Medicine several times.
Okay.
I have contributed to several books, one of them being Cannabis Queens would be the more recent. And then also the first textbook for nursing curricula, teaching the endocannabinoid system with Carrie Clark. I contributed to that. So I've done a lot of contributing to others' writings. I've done
Sure.
a lot of my own publishing. I have a Substack and a blog, and a lot of my writing is focused on exemplifying cannabis as harm reduction for chronic illnesses like PTSD,
Okay.
and how it's so much better than the benzodiazepines or
Right.
the SSRIs or the other mental health medications. Because realistically, the pharma approach is not, it's not targeted. They're basically throwing spaghetti against the wall to see what will stick. Like they're
Right.
not doing baseline testing on your neurotransmitters to see what's at askew. And so by adding these forceful things like SSRIs, which automatically increase your serotonin, they could be making things worse if somebody already has high serotonin. And actually, that is one of the theories behind the school shooters, is that they have excess serotonin, which makes you aggressive and
Right.
apathetic and suicidal.
Right. That makes sense.
So versus cannabis, where you take cannabis for PTSD, it actually has these really intelligent mechanisms with the brain where it can assess the current levels and intelligently promote balance by adding what will help to balance instead of just forcing something to increase or decrease. It's called retrograde signaling in the research.
Even
So
out your current levels instead of forcing a new one in.
exactly.
I like
Okay.
it.
So so I reach out to you and I tell you that I'm, having some issues with PTSD, and I tell you that I want to explore cannabis. What are my first steps? What are you telling me?
Full assessment, which
Okay.
takes, usually I'm on a call with patients for about an hour, and we're
Okay.
assessing their specific situation, like what were the triggers, what happened. I want to hear the story if they're comfortable telling it. I want to know which symptoms are specifically the most bothersome that they want to target with the cannabis therapy. I want to know their pharmaceuticals that they're taking concurrently, because you can have interactions.
Uh-huh.
I want to know things like family history. Is there history of schizophrenia? Are there any other considerations or potential risk factors around, their what age they are, what their condition is? I mean, it's really a pretty involved process,
Sure.
but it's really approaching cannabis therapy from a well-informed medical perspective
Mm-hmm.
with competent guidance that is really, looking at all of the things that could happen with a patient, risks and benefits. That's called informed consent.
Right.
And we are required as medical professionals to provide that to our patients under our oaths, which are upheld by international codes. So it's a big deal if we breach our ethics.
Yep.
And that's actually been one of the most powerful arguments for my legislative advocacy that fights for the rights of patients and medical professionals serving them in the cannabis industry, because our medical laws are still atrocious. Medical professionals are still being discriminated against and retaliated. I myself have been retaliated against for advocating by the
Mm-hmm.
Oregon State Board of Nursing. So it's really, we still have a lot of work to do.
I gotcha. So what is so have you found, is it a strain situation that helps people the most, or how do you approach that?
Yeah, and in my college class, I teach, of course, that whether it's marijuana, quote unquote, or whether it's hemp, quote unquote, or whatever in between, from a botanical perspective, it's all Cannabis sativa L.
Okay.
It's all one plant, and there are different phenotypes or
Mhm.
chemotypes. So phenotypes would be sort of what we call a strain, or chemotypes would be the chemical profile of that strain.
Okay.
So I tend to not abide by strain names as much. Also, being a cultivator, I know it's easy to swap your name tags when you're transplanting. I know that, the name can mean a lot of different things, because you can take the same genetic seed and
Uh-huh.
have multiple people grow it and get completely different profiles from each of them.
That's
So
fair.
it doesn't really tell you what it constitutes. Whereas being a little bit more specific in therapeutic approaches entails going by the chemotype or the plant profile, which is, you look at the lab testing for that strain, you look at the lab testing for that tincture, and you try to match it up with the patient's needs. And I've gone so far as to help different companies with formulating. For example, a good strain for anxiety would, in the hemp world, 0.3% THC max
Uh-huh.
would be, a hemp CBD strain that's more of an indica in profile, and ideally contains myrcene, which helps it cross the blood-brain barrier. That's excellent for anything neurological or mental health related.
Okay.
And it also contains linalool, which is known to calm anxiety in its own right. So that would be a well-targeted product for a patient with anxiety or PTSD,
Okay.
versus a sativa that's going to amp them up and make them more stimulated and maybe increase their anxiety. Certainly not going to help them sleep, right?
Right.
So this and indica sativa, just to explain those are terms that basically reflect the terpene profile of any given chemovar or strain,
Okay.
because the more stimulating terpene, if they're dominant in a profile, then that's going to be called a sativa. If they're more of the sedative terpenes, then it's going to be called an indica.
All
And
right,
so
that's
the
perfect.
hybrids are a little of each,
You're going to help us here because I find myself I buy mostly sativas and he buys mostly indicas,
Hybrids.
hybrids. But yeah, because
I can't take a high sativa.
So maybe I need the sativa to fight the depression. Then keeps me going.
Well,
I don't know.
sativas are better for ADHD. You think
That's
about
what
how
it is, probably.
Yeah, I have ADHD too, so I like the sativas.
It keeps me focused and able to function and do this. So so that's this ADHD sativas.
Well, and weird people, really.
Why you gonna be that way? Why
Can I
you
show
be like
you my
that, man?
product that I use for ADHD during the day when I have to like grade papers?
Yeah.
Dick.
On here. So this is a Unity Formulas Elevate. I actually helped to formulate this product. It's CBD, CBG, pinene, some wonderful focusing terpenes. And this,
I need to
I've
write
had
that
so
down.
many patients wean off of Ritalin and other stimulants for ADHD using this product.
That's
It's
awesome.
amazing.
And there's no THC in that?
It's hemp. It qualifies
Okay.
as hemp, so less than 0.3.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have a coupon code I can share with everybody. RETJACH2 will give you 20% off at the Unity Formulas website, and I'll shoot you one of my friends and family ones.
Sweet.
Extra special discount.
Right on.
Sorry, I
Nice.
can't give that one publicly. I get in trouble when I do.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Fair enough. Now, if I can be true to go ahead.
Can we put that, the one you gave out, can we put that like on the tagline? Like, or is that,
Absolutely.
On our
I
links it
assume
up.
that if people put that in, then they know that the company knows that they heard it from you, and then you look better, I'm hoping.
Yeah, they actually donate to my nonprofit.
We definitely want to add that then.
Right, absolutely.
yeah.
Hopefully they'll know it
And-
came from Dick and Dank.
Right.
Yeah, you guys can actually sign up as affiliates if you want. It's free to
Ooh,
do.
now
We're,
talking.
we're more interested in
really-
helping you.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, that's what I'm
we're a
saying.
med-
We'll promote it, and then she'll know that every time somebody donates from Dick and Dank, she'll know because they'll use our code.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
that'll work.
And she said it's
Yeah.
free to sign up. So we can
It
refer a code for her business every episode or whatever, and then
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do that
and
then.
then she'll know. Hey,
Yeah, they'll get that,
Dick and Dank listeners.
if they
bought
use
this.
the Dick and Dank code,
Yep.
then the money will go to her.
Has heard
nonprofit.
about it, yeah.
Sweet.
You know what? We're totally confusing people because I didn't even mention that I'm founder of 501c3 Autism Safe Haven, which is committed to trailblazing cannabis inclusive autism care homes in Oregon.
Wow,
That's what it is contributing to.
that was a mouthful.
And Unity Formulas not only has this amazing ADHD formula, they have calm support, which is great for anxiety and epilepsy. They have pain blends, which they're based on a plant that I grew that was the best strain ever for pain.
Which was?
And we profiled it and put it in a bottle. They have cancer specific, very intensive potency products for cancer patients. So yeah, a big variety on there.
What
And
was
they
the
also have-
strain for the pain? The best one you said, the very best one. What was it?
I got it from my geneticist friend. The name of it was RN. It may or may not have been named after me.
Oh, how about that?
It was basically a cross of Blue Widow and Boax. And It was
Okay.
a 3-to-1 THC to CBG with 5% CBG and then the Blue Widow terpenes.
That's a lot of math and
But
big
we
words.
made an evening version of it too that's not as stimulating and more sedative. So we have it daytime and nighttime.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah, and this was set up to be a medical outsource. We have free nurse guidance. We bring on medical practitioners as affiliates, and we will train them for free or set it up so that they can just send their patient to us, and we take care of the rest.
Sounds like you're doing
So,
God's work.
Yeah, we're really it's an answer for patients.
Christ
So that
cabbage right
they
here.
can- What's optimal? Free 15 minutes, so we can say you're taking pharmaceuticals. Please get the full assessment before you proceed, or you're not. And it sounds like you'll do okay on your own. So here's the products. We can explain what might be best. I mean, it's really, yeah.
It's plain and simple. You watch TV and all the advertisements for your medicine. You spend the last 10 seconds listening to all the side effects and
they're
risk
awful.
and all this, and then if they could show ads for cannabis, and for medicine, and your side effects would be enjoy your day and have a good time and live a healthy life. You might
Unsurpassed
cough.
Safety I mean, people use cannabis just for the side effects because they're so
Right?
pleasurable.
Exactly. Am I right?
I'm
And I
hungry.
think at the end of a cannabis commercial, it would say unsurpassed safety profile, zero evidence that it meets the criteria for Schedule 1 placement. That's totally it's
Right.
Exactly.
so hypocritical. I mean, one of the criteria is no medical value, and our government holds multiple patents for cannabis for its medicinal uses.
Why are they doing that to
That
us?
it must be dangerous. It's never killed anybody ever. You can go to the DEA website today, and it still says that.
We've been talking
And the
about it.
third
It was a
one is
Garden
that-
of Eden. It's here for a reason. It's for your body. It's for your mental health. It's here to correct you.
Yep.
know,
The third criteria is highly addictive, and studies reflect that it's less addictive than coffee and sugar.
boom.
Harmful too. So, like, this is what we're fighting on the Schedule 3 transition that we're dealing with right now.
So, what's your opinion on the risks of the inhalation? Because there's got to be.
Depends on what you're inhaling. Are you inhaling the plant, or are you inhaling some synthetic BS that doesn't resemble the plant whatsoever?
Well,
that is
that's
not.
What about the butane from the lighter?
That's fair, but let's just for argument's sake, you're smoking a joint.
I think there are beneficial uses to smoking. And actually, if you look at Dr. David Allen, he was one of the OGs, and I discovered him, I think, in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
He has this little 3-minute clip where he introduces himself and that he's a cannabis researcher. And he talks about a study they did where they did retrospective data collection on 2 groups of people, one group that were not cannabis smokers and the other group where they had smoked at least 20 years, every individual. And what they found was the cannabis smokers, of course, they weren't thinking medicine when they're smoking,
Right.
but there was this benefit that they received that actually protected the beta cells of their pancreas. And as a result of that, they had 80% less prevalence of diabetes in the smoking group versus the non-smoking group. Yep.
Really?
So I think even if people aren't thinking medicinal, I think all use is medicinal. I do think we need to mitigate harm because, like I said, there's some bad players in this industry that are bastardizing our plant and calling it cannabis, and all that's doing is making our plant look bad.
You know what? I disagree because I think you say cannabis and it ties directly into your endocannabinoid system, and that's what it's there for, is to help correct and adjust your endocannabinoid system. I think cannabis just tells you they go hand in hand. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that there's a big difference between the plant, the flower with its 500 compounds that are synergistic in providing cofactors that amplify and balance and improve the effect of the cannabinoids and terpenes versus an isolate or a synthetic, or God forbid, one of the frankenweeds that they made from CBD hemp, the D8 and the THCP. Those are harming people where the plant never has.
Yeah.
So that's why I say
keep
those
it natural, keep it safe.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in favor with the scheduling, and I'm on a coalition that's actually drafting some rules. I don't know if we'll be taken seriously because we're very patient-centric, and the other 4 organizations writing rules don't seem to be. But I'm in favor of separating the plant from the FDA-approved products that they're putting on Schedule 3 because to have it FDA-approved, it needs to be isolated or somehow stripped down or otherwise altered from the original form, and it's far inferior. It doesn't act the same way. It doesn't have the same unsurpassed safety profile, and those products do deserve ongoing research so we can better understand them versus the plant, as you said, we've used for millennia. Jesus used it in his anointing oil to heal people.
Said it was in the Holy Grail.
So we know it's safe and it's evolved with us. There's no reason to put it on a schedule. It does not fit there. They are different.
So let us have it, let us use it, let us grow it.
So
Exactly. I worry that we're going to jeopardize some of those rights that we have currently with this transition.
I'm worried about that too.
So to make it to Schedule 3, are you saying that they have to breed out a lot of the good stuff of the plants? Is that what you're saying?
No, Schedule 3 is going to be for the pharmaceutical products that are made in a lab.
Okay.
So they're synthesized, they're isolated, they're altered from, they're one compound instead of 500. And for some reason, just because they share 1 or 2 ingredients, they want to say they're the same.
I see.
I see.
That's how they get away with it.
And we also, by separating the plant, we remove it from all of the money mongering and political maneuvering that,
So is that what Delta 8 is? It's like one piece of the plant is one, whatever part of it is in there, and that's how they qualify as hemp?
Yeah, the plant, well, Delta 8 that's on the market is CBD that is bathed in very toxic solvents and very underregulated and put on a shelf. It's not I don't even like calling it a cannabinoid. Yeah, it works. It's a CB1 agonist like THC, but otherwise they have nothing in common. D8 is dangerous.
And then and then what's Delta 9, the difference there?
The Delta 9 is how your body converts it in the liver. So it's a natural process. It's not D8. Yeah. So it's very, I am very much for keeping the plant in its whole form
Hmm.
because I think it's pure human ego to think we can improve upon a plant we don't yet fully understand.
Right.
And
Grow
clearly,
it, pull the
we're
flower, and
still,
smoke it. Be
exactly,
done.
we're still finding new compounds every day, and we just need to trust in the perfection of nature. And, just the only reason it's demonized is because they can't patent it and monopolize on the profits from its sale.
I
That's
think
it.
for you, what you want, if you want the best way for you to be smoking it, would be with that the volcano, that the dry herb vaporizer. It's just a plain dry herb and it's vaporizing without you
Yeah.
hailing, smoking, or lighting anything, or adding the paper to it. That would be the best for
I
you.
recommend. I like rosin too. Rosin's totally pure. It tastes a little less, which some people like.
Okay.
And butane extracts they mostly capture. I think their butane is slightly less effective than like 190 proof ethanol for capturing all of the compounds, the polar and non-polar. So you're not just pulling the
Well,
cannabinoids and
talking way
terpenes, you're
above my
pulling
head right now.
yeah, you're pulling antioxidants, bioflavonoids, essential fatty acids, and chlorophyll, all, and the dark stuff is where the nutrition is. And the dark stuff actually helps the cannabinoids and terpenes to work better. So you want darker medicine.
Okay, so when I make my butter, do I get rid of the sludge, or should I be? Are you telling me all the good stuff is in the sludge I'm throwing away?
Oh, no, butter is a great solvent. So is olive oil for the raws.
No, I'm just saying
Coconut
the
oil. Yeah.
sludge. You know, the nasty stuff when
Yeah,
it.
you can bake it into brownies and you might get a little effect from it, but you might have to pick green stuff out of your teeth too, which
No,
is
thank
not
you.
pleasant.
No, thank
I
you.
like making my edibles with Faco, so
I got you. I got you.
yeah.
All right.
How about that? Now, to be true to our show,
Yes,
tell us about your first time. Can you remember your first time?
I do. I was 21 years old and I grew up in Sonoma County, which is just south of Humboldt, so we had access to some really wonderful product. I grew up in a very conservative home. My dad was a pastor turned prison guard.
Okay.
So I was kind of a late bloomer, but I discovered it right on time because I was actually drinking very heavily. I come from a long line of alcoholics.
Okay.
I didn't realize it at the time, but I tried cannabis and went, "Oh, this is amazing. I can still have fun, no hangover.
Same.
Right.
It's not going to slow me
Same.
down."
Yep.
But in retrospect, I see it as harm reduction because it spared me probably an alcoholic pathway.
Yep.
Drunk driving.
Yeah.
I mean, how many
Well,
times I've
yeah.
done that, man?
Yeah. My grandfather needed electroshock treatments to stop drinking, and he married a Native American woman. So that whole side
Oh,
of the
jeez.
family is a mess.
Right.
I had such a good tolerance that, like you said, I was drinking every guy I knew under the table, doing Jaeger shots, playing poker, and trying to keep my shirt on. And I ended up driving everyone home.
Right.
So,
I'm all right.
like, yeah, I was
10 feet
pretty
tall and
bad.
bulletproof.
I was pretty bad. So cannabis, I think, spared me even then, even though I was just thinking, hey, no hangover, this is great.
Right.
And the first time I smoked it, I was so giddy. I just laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed. My friend thought something was wrong with it. She's like, is it spiked? I'm like, no, I just feel so good. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Were you
So-
intoxicated too, or out drinking as well, or just?
I don't think I drank that night.
Okay.
It was like at a party and my friend had brought it and here, try some,
Okay.
It wasn't like deliberate, but after that, it was like my party weekends turned into Saturday nights smoking with friends and watching South Park.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's
Much
cool.
better than going out and drinking and driving and who knows what else,
Right. I mean, they're both a good time. I'm not going to lie.
It was awesome. Yeah, you learn the best munchies that way. Like we used to take Twix bars and dip them in peanut butter and eat them.
Nice. Oh, now you're talking.
no.
Now you're
Best stoner snack is Jello by far, hands down.
Thanks for
Jell-O.
making me hungry.
talking. Good to know. All right. So, method of choice.
Had to lighten it up a bit. It got
That's
too
good.
heavy.
No, you're
So,
good.
your method of choice, is that a joint? Is that a bowl? What is that?
Is that little fancy thing you
Yeah,
had?
fancy thing. Is that your go-to?
Multiple methods. I take tinctures and concentrates every day for the medicinal.
Okay.
I have ingested at least 100 milligrams of THC every day for more than a decade.
Okay.
Right on.
To keep my autoimmune in check. And I use tinctures. I use CBD, CBG, acid. THCA tincture is the most amazing underutilized tool, I think, in the cannabis industry. And then I smoke for breakthrough. If I'm stressed out, if
gotcha.
I'm painful, I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome was what they eventually landed on. I've had so many medical labels and diagnoses pasted to me that fell away. but the one that stuck was Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and it kind of explained everything else.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'm a real patient, and I really rely on cannabis to remain functional. And I have severe endocannabinoid deficiency, and that fills it for me and keeps me in balance. So
Right on. Well, our last question is reason for use, and you just told us that, so that's perfect. So,
there you go.
man,
Yeah, pain, perimenopause, all of it. It's great.
so I guess between us, you could do us a favor if you'd like to spread the good word about our show, so people can listen to you and your interview. And then if there's anybody that you can think of that has a story that they'd love to share with us on Dick and Dank, they can email dank@dickanddank.com. Email me, and then we can line a time when Dick's too busy, if you listened to a previous episode, but find a time when Dick's free, and then we'll get together, either Zoom, but if you're in the Quad City area, we can be in person here. So we'd like to grow this show so we can help spread the good word about everything cannabis can do, because this has been fantastic having you today. You've been so enlightening, so educating. Big words I can't. Sometimes I couldn't even keep up, but it could have been the cannabis.
I'm surprised you were able to. The cannabis really helps.
It
I
does.
can't believe you could say those words.
No,
You can't say them when you're sober.
True story.
Yeah, well, let me just say, underlying every chronic illness is endocannabinoid deficiency. And what that means is that our bodies produce cannabinoids that look just like the ones from the plant.
Right.
And when we can't produce enough of them because of illness or genetics, or they've been depleted due to long-term imbalances, we can supplement from the plant, and the body doesn't really recognize the difference. They work the same way. Some of the durations are different, but like THC is a CB1 agonist, so is anandamide, which we produce internally, which is a vital nutrient, with the most prolific source being breast milk.
Really?
So our use of cannabis is really nutritional, whether we realize it or not. It's filling a vital nutrition deficiency that's found in all chronic illness, per Dr. Ethan Russo.
Did I just hear breastfeeding women should be using cannabis?
I didn't say that.
Okay. All right. I was just double checking if that's what I heard.
That's not a blanket statement. What we produce internally that looks just and acts like THC is found most prolifically in breast milk. It's helping the baby be hungry. It's calming them down. It's stimulating their appetite. It's doing all kinds of good things. It's promoting systemic homeostasis, meaning balance throughout their body.
I mean, to me, if the mother needs to take cannabis to be in balance, and then the baby is going to get more benefit because the mother's in balance, it all works hand in hand. This is all natural, because it's here for a reason, because it's been here since the Garden of Eden, because it keeps us living. It keeps us healthy. This is perfect, because we've mentioned in previous episodes, trying to find the way to find the right strain, because we talked to the trauma translator. He's an amputee from the knee down. Mm-hmm. And if you want to listen to previous episodes, what number is that? Episode 28. But amputee from the knee down. He's got phantom nerve pain, and was debilitating. And now, thanks to cannabis, there was a strain he found that helped. But he found a specific grower. Now, which
Hangfire Genetics.
Hangfire Genetics. They found the exact strain that helps his phantom nerve pain, so that he can grow his own medicine at home. And now he's running 5Ks with his what do you call it?
Stub.
Stub.
It's not a stub. I don't know. It looks like
attachment,
a blade.
the blade. Yeah,
Is that a blade?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think he's got a blade. Yeah, but he's doing all kinds of climbing, and he's got these motivational pictures and videos and captions all the time. And like, he's just really living life to the fullest, all thanks to cannabis. So it was great to have him on, and people like you that can help anybody that's struggling, to me, with just about anything. Cannabis has got an answer, probably.
Yeah. Depending on the person, it's a very individualized approach. It's not for everybody. Some people are so against it that even if they did try it and it worked, they would deny it.
Yep.
I don't waste my time with people that
Right, that's unfortunate.
And I do see the future of cannabis as being compounding, where we are finding what works for the individual and making sure that's available to them consistently, because that is a challenge that we have yet to overcome. So,
Agreed.
All right.
and we can do it now, so I'm sure it's just going to improve from here.
Here, let's see.
I think I'm going to go do some more research on cannabis strains,
Be sure to
terpenes.
Please feel free to reach out if people have questions.
I'd
and
love
email
to do
you. I'm happy to
research,
answer
but
them.
I have a hard time remembering what I researched.
Well, I'm going to do some research with little fires at home.
I can't say it officially. We lost a follower on Instagram. I can't say
What'd you
it.
say?
I don't know.
You
What'd
scared him
say?
away?
Maybe. Dunk did something.
No. It's a good sign that you're authentic. That's all.
No,
But
we're just being smart asses.
I wanna ask to our almost 7,000 followers. Is there anything that you'd like to say to our cannabis community? Now I say 7,000 followers; they're not listening yet, but we are increasing our listens. So we're trying to share the good word because the message you have to share about cannabis is amazing. The things it's done for you in your life, and then the people you've been able to help. And just like the trauma translator, able to grow your own medicine at home. We don't need the drug companies. I mean, we need, dare I say doctors, but we need people like you that are able to find the specific strain that helps you, and then the best way to find you to help adapt their cannabis relationship for their benefit. How do they get a hold of you?
The best place to find me is at my Media Kit website. I have a contact form on there. It's jannachampagne.com, Janna, champagne like the drink. You can also find me at my website, therogueherbalist.com. If you find me on Instagram, I'm under the Rogue Herbalist, and there's a link tree there that also has a way to reach out in various ways and see my my writing page and different things. So yeah, like I said, I do a lot, so I'm kind of spread all over, but I'll also send you guys some of my articles that relate to some of what we talked about today so people can read it and look at the research themselves.
Absolutely. Well, as soon as I get this edited and uploaded, I'll look up your link there and I'll tag you on Instagram, and then Dunk puts it out on the rest of the social media so she can attach you on X at JannaChampagne9 on X, where Dick was able to find our lovely guest at JannaChampagne9.
That's right.
The Rogue Herbalist. Thank you very much. You've been awesome. Dick and Dank, we are dickanddank.com. So keep listening. Stay dope, stay dank, and keep the discussions rolling.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Sure.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to clip out?
Good night.
Talking things and important facts, like what's next, give me gas. There's a place that you wanna go. The clientele is really slow. DickandDank.com, oh yeah. DickandDank.com, alright. DickandDank.com. La 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 la.
Just when people thinks it's over, God gets into the la la la. Little extra bonus footage, what people don't know. It's because I want you to stay listening because you got to get to our advertiser, Music by Ernie.
Right.
But that we often leave the guest on.
I think I'm
where we can still
officially a little
see them
dumber
while
after
their closing's
listening to
going. But the
that.
reaction when we get to the
As
follow
soon as you said that. Perfect.
I didn't want to interrupt your song.
No, you're good.
Oh, you're good.
Are you able to
that
clip
feel?
out? There
Honestly.
was something I wanted to clip. I don't remember what it was. Anyway.
Oh, you can tell me. I can try and find it and clip it.
Yeah, I don't remember. I'm trying to remember what it was. When my husband came in and got this, are you able to clip
Oh, we
that
don't
out?
care. We don't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, "Where's the bong?"
That would have been better if we would have heard it.
Mine.
That actually would have been awesome.
Yeah,
if
if
he
we
would've
could have
said,
heard it, would have been better.
Where's my bong?
That's it for today's Dope Discussions with Dick and Dank. You can binge us on Spotify, iHeart, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and SoundCloud, where you can even grab our theme song. True fans? Well, you know where to go, right to our website. Subscribe and get the newsletter from our vertically challenged distant assistant, Dunk. Yes, Dunk. Writes better emails than we do. Follow us on Facebook, Blue Sky, and X. But if you really want to get the inside scoop, hit us up on Instagram at DopeDiscussions_Dick and Mr. Dank5. Got questions or want to advertise? Email dank@dickanddank.com. Until next time, stay dope, stay dank, and keep those discussions rolling. Looking for fresh beats and smooth vibes? Check out Music by Ernie, streaming now on SoundCloud. Whether you're chilling, driving, or turning up the volume, Ernie's got the soundtrack for your moment. Don't miss out. Search Music by Ernie today, only on SoundCloud.